That's a LA Ram sign. Neon. It's just too bright. You can't fucking see it. Kind of like me in a mosh pit. Because I'm short. 5'8". Crisp. I can't decide on a style. Maybe that's it right there. Make sure the camera knows who won that Super Bowl. As you can tell, we are doing the NFC predictions. I'll do AFC too. I just might yap too much, so I don't want it to be like a 40-minute video that I put out. But I see a lot of predictions online, and a lot of them are false. I'm the only correct predictions one. I'm the only one that's going to be right. I will go 16 for 16 in the NFC, I swear. Because I'm freaking goated. And I'm so... I'm sports smart. If I'm going to do videos like these, I really need to get my... I'm going to do videos like these. I really need to get my speech therapy, clear talking, like, under control. So I don't just sound like a gibberish guy trying to get words out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is my only goal. Is to talk clearly throughout this whole thing. If I can't, I guess nothing will happen. I'll just continue on. Alright, here we go. We're going east, west, south, north. Alright? Let's get started. As you can see, I have them all lined up. Number 4 in the east. Who will finish last? The Cowboys. Now, am I a Cowboys hater? Yes, everybody hates them. Everybody's a Cowboys hater except for the Cowboys. Or maybe Chiefs fans. But, listen, you lose Micah Parsons. The only thing you really have is Dak Prescott. You got George Pickens and CD Lamb. You don't have a run game. Tyron Smith retired, so I don't know how well your blocking is going to do. Your secondary was awful. Matt Eberflus is your new DC. All the season is going to rely on Dak Prescott. How much faith do you have in Dak Prescott? Not a lot. Alright. Finishing third in the division, I think this is obvious. It's going to be the Giants. They may finish fourth, but I think they're going to be better than Dallas. If Jackson Dart takes over the quarterback job for Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is going to be the starter for week 1. Pretty sure that already came out. But their defensive line looks very good. Running back game's got a Bell beast. Neighbors, still solid. I like the Giants. I do like Brian Daboll as a coach. I think he's great. It's just he got dealt a very shitty hand for the past 2 years. So, give me the Giants in the next slot. Hopefully, he plays Jackson Dart over Russell Wilson. Third, this was hard. I'm going to put Washington. Now, I don't remember all the moves they made in the offseason on how they fixed that defense, especially in that secondary, because they're up. Well, they also probably need up front too. But their defense was kind of a letdown, especially in the NFC Championship game. They got good linebackers. They're okay on the outside, but just thank goodness Terry McLaurin got that deal done. I still expect them to be very good. Who's running alongside Terry McLaurin? Okay, I just looked at their off tracker, what they did in the offseason. Basically, they didn't do a whole much. They kind of buffed up the secondary, but that's about it. But easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, Philly's going to be first. I think Philly might be the most obvious first place team. I think the only people they really lost is people on that defensive line. And they keep adding like stud linebackers and everything. Oh, they did lose Darius Slay, to be fair, but I don't think those are like big enough losses where they're just gonna melt. I think they're still gonna be godlike, and it's gonna be hard. The whole offensive line is basically returning, right? Prepare to be tush pushed into maybe first seed Philly. They're just too good. Alright, to the West. My division. Now, you could call me biased. You could call me whatever you want. Rams will win the West. Alright? Listen. I'll go through why I think teams will be below the Rams. I'll get through it. But I think this is the Rams division to win. I think it should be... won't be easy, to be fair. But it should be... we should be good enough to get the West. Just depend... as long as Matthew Stafford's back doesn't crack out and die. Alright. I'm going to go to 4th place in the West. I'm going to go with the Niners. Again, you call me biased because I hate the Niners. It's true. I hate them more than anybody else in the league. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes, for not letting them win any Super Bowls. But, listen, you gave Brock Purdy a ton of money. Brandon Ayuk is on PUP. So your number one wide receiver is Ricky Parcell at the moment, right? And then another wide receiver, I can't think of his name right now. I know he requested a trade, but that got denied. Christian McCaffrey is built like glass, a very fragile glass, fragile. You lost a lot on your defense. Ward, Hufanga, Greenlaw, Hargrave. You lost a lot. You do get Robert Saleh coming back, which is a W. But I think you lost too much. You put too much money into Brock Purdy. Your Super Bowl window has been far closed since last year. I think now is when you start to die. And especially when you give Brock Purdy that amount of money. Alright, in 3rd, give me Arizona. Honestly, between Arizona, obviously Seattle is 2nd now. When it came between Arizona and Seattle, I asked myself, who was I more scared of? It would probably be Seattle. Yes, Arizona can. It's like Kyler Murray's 6th year to actually on a prove it year. Prove that you're good. That's actually a good offense. Kyler Murray, James Conner, Terry McBride, and Marvin Harrison. Solid offense. Solid. If Kyler Murray stays healthy and if he's actually good as everybody thinks that he is. The defense, yeah, you get the guy from the Eagles. Sure. Buda Baker's still a stud. But I just don't trust the defense still. It's not as scary as Seattle's. And yes, Seattle has Sam Darnold. When Jalen Monroe, I think Seattle will probably be back and they will be scary. But with Seattle, you're starting Sam Darnold. He's going to win you games, but he's not going to be good enough like in the playoffs or anything of the sort. Or even maybe last year was kind of a one-hit wonder. I don't think Seattle's going to be good enough. I think they'll be like a 9-win team. But other than that, I can see these two flipped. But I also think Seattle's defense just way better than Arizona's, and Seattle's could keep up with Arizona's. Alright, to the South we go. I actually had to look at my notes for the first time ever on who I actually picked for the South. In 4th place, the Saints. I think this is obvious enough. I think everybody's picking the Saints to be the worst team in the league. Unless Kellen Moore Unless Kellen Moore can make up some magic, Saints are the worst team in the South. I think that's a no-brainer. I think everybody's going to pick them. Now, the next three, I could see flip-flop throughout the whole thing. I could see Carolina on top. I could see Tampa Bay on top. I could see Atlanta on top. But the way I did go was Carolina in third. Do I hate it? Yeah, kind of. I think they're slowly getting better. Again, it's Bryce Young. Yes, he had a really good finish to the season. But how much does that really tell you? Right? Because he also didn't have that good of the beginning of the season. Granted, Andy Dalton, I believe, started the season last year. So, take what you will with it. I'm going to bet that Carolina just stays in third for the moment. Next, I went with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. The thing is, I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got any worse. They definitely didn't. They added Ibaka, which looks like a stud, and then you still have Evans, who's going to go for 1,000 yards, which is basically guaranteed this year. Baker Mayfield, I love him. I think he's really good. I don't think he's going to win you guys a Super Bowl. I don't think he's Super Bowl caliber, or he'll definitely get you to the playoffs, but maybe get you a win or two. I will say the defense is really good too, so maybe you don't need a very good quarterback, but I think the main reason I pick the Falcons to get first is because of how much a believer I am in Penix. And I have Kyle Pitts in fantasy this year. So, that may have played a small bit. Pretty sure the first game Penix played was against the Bucks. Or was that... I know he played an overtime game. It was for the South, I believe, so it was against the Bucks. Or a lead in the Bucks. It was late in the season when Penix took over. And he almost beat the Bucks, so... Never know, man. You never knew. Like I said, I could see these three, flipping, flopping. I could see Tampa Bay first, Atlanta third, Alright, to the north. Now this is the hardest division I've ever had to predict or even predicted in any sports or anything. And I do predictions a lot. I don't record them or anything, but I actually do them a lot. Me and my cousin do. This was rough because I could see the fourth place team in the north being the first place team. I could see the third being the second, third being the fourth. All over. I could see anybody winning this division. This was tough. Now, I did make these predictions pre-Micah Parsons trade, so I had to relook and refigure this out. The thing is do I play it safe or do I not play it safe? Okay. So, in fourth, I'm going to go with J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. Purely because of J.J. McCarthy. And Addison is suspended 4 games, who I also have in fantasy. But if I'm not really playing it safe, because I put the third team where they are, because a lot of people probably predicted them to be fourth. But I'm going to put the Vikings. It's a rookie season for J.J. McCarthy. Yes, he can be really good and all. Yes, sure. I just don't know how good he is. We will see. So I'm putting them there. Third place, I put the Bears. It's just how big of a believer I am in Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Granted, he's got really good weapons. Komet, Loveland, Romeo Doomsday, and DJ Moore. They really buffed up that O-line this offseason. They always had a good secondary and good linebackers. Where they lack, though, is up front on the defensive side. So that is a little square. It's basically just Josh Sweat, and that's about it. So I just think the Bears are just a little bit better than the Vikings. Again, it could go either way. Alright, so originally I had the Lions at first place in this division. At one point, I had Chicago in first place in this division. But I'm going to go with the Lions in second. Listen, you lose both coordinators. Everybody knows that's tough. You lose part of that offensive line. You still have all your offensive weapons. Surely good. I still don't believe in that secondary. You got good linebackers and you're good up front. Aiden Hutchinson's coming off that big injury, that ACL. So, who do you believe more in, Jared Goff or Jordan Love? Packers just got really better. They already had a good secondary and pretty good linebackers, and now they just got better up front, where they kind of lacked last season. Yeah, you lose Kenny Clark, but you get Micah Parsons, so I just think Packers are really scary. Alright, here's my playoff predictions for the seeds. I'm not gonna go through like the whole shebang, who's gonna win the Super Bowl and my Super Bowl predictions. I'll probably say at some point. Anyways, so let's just say the Rams for the NFC is my Super Bowl prediction. So it would be Eagles 1 seed. Alright, yeah, so Eagles 1 seed, Packers 2 seed, Rams 3 seed, Falcons 4 seed. And then I picked the Lions 5 seed, Washington 6 seed, and the Buccaneers 7th seed. And that's what I think the NFC will look like. 20-minute video for the NFC with just predictions. I'm fucking goated. And I got an Arizona. I am a Diamondbacks fan too. Predictions video.